Hello, Art Foundations. I'm going to go over the process that you're going to use to make a shaded drawing, or to start to make a shaded drawing of that paper curl that you went home with either on Tuesday or Friday. So the first thing that I'm going to do is get down a light contour drawing of my object. So I know that I'm not drawing this from real life, I'm drawing this from a photograph. And you know all about contour line drawing. We're just going to change up the line vocabulary a little bit. You are going to use something called a sensitive line. And a sensitive line is light, and sometimes it is a little bit darker, but then sometimes it disappears. And the reason why we're using a line like this is because eventually the edges of all of the lines that we put down are going to become values, are going to become edges. So we want to keep the graphite relatively light in this process. Okay, so whenever you see my hand move or my pencil move, that means that my eyes are moving. We know that good drawing, you are looking at your object 95% of the time, and then you're glancing down 5% on your paper. All right. That way you are coordinating what your brain is seeing to what your hand is doing. And that's just being a skilled drawer. So I'm going to start. You're going to see that I'm just going to go around the contour as slow as I can to get every edge that I see. And I don't have a lot of details. I'm also going to draw in the cast shadows that I'm witnessing. So this is going to be step one. Hey, so after I drew in the contour lightly of my paper curl, I mapped out my values. That was step two. I checked for accuracy. I checked my negative spaces for accuracy, and then I mapped my values. I went ahead and moved on to the third step of this process, which is shading, using point pressure, using controlled movements with my pencil, created really accurate transitions. Now, I gave myself exactly 20 minutes of uninterrupted time, and this is about as far as I got. And I forgot to press the record button on the video. I was going to just do a time lapse of this. So I really can't go back in time. However, this is what I got done in 20 minutes. I'm going to put in another 20 minutes to see how far I get then. And that's really all I'm asking, is that, you complete step one of this assignment, complete step two, which includes mapping your values. And then you give yourself little small chunks of time to, utilize point pressure and really shade. And one thing that I will tell you that when I was working on this, I was, using my map as a guide. However, there were some areas where I still needed to get a little bit darker with my pencil, or I needed to lighten up. So some of my initial, map decisions, as far as, my values being, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, may have been a little off. That is perfectly normal. Now, you can see that my edges, my lines, have disappeared as I started establishing my hard transitions. So that is what's going to happen. Because again, real life doesn't have outlines. It just has edges. And that's determined by the value next to the value. This value in particular, these values right here, were really, really similar. So I had to decide, okay, is this one darker than this one? And I had to just put the teensiest amount of pressure on the one that's in the negative space here. All right. So I'm going to put in another 20 minutes of this, and we'll see how far I get in that 20 minutes. I'm not going to be finished because, again, I really need to, something that I identify I need to work on is control and not drawing and shading so fast. So I'm going to set my timer again for 20 minutes. And we'll see what this looks like after that. And I'll speed up the next 20 minutes for you. Okay, so this is what I have after another 20 minutes of working on shading my photograph. And my video stopped kind of in the middle of my drawing session. But so total, I've put in maybe about 40 minutes worth of drawing. Another 5 minutes that I started with where I was drawing the contour using sensitive line, making sure that everything was in place. I did spend some time mapping my values. So what you're going to do is, again, chunk. How do you want to spend your time each day working on this? That's my dog coughing in the background. Anyway, so, how much time do you want to spend on each day? If this took me 40 minutes, this is probably going to take maybe some of you a little bit longer because, again, you guys are learning. And the thing is, you don't want to rush this. You don't want to rush, we're creating something that is representational. So it's a little bit different than the fractured values that you create, because that was kind of like maybe your first crack at, creating gradients and creating contrast and hard edges and soft edges and all those kinds of things. So, so you are going to work as much as you can on this over your asynchronous time. You're going to upload either a process photograph or maybe you have finished it. I don't know how you are working. And we will talk about this when we get back into class, either on Monday or Thursday. So happy drawing and shading.